working on 2 videos simultaneously, technically 3 because I feel like I can pull it off this time. As you can tell from the title and thumbnail, I am doing a review and ranking for Universe Ticket. I was super excited for this show because the mentor and host lineup is perfect to me. All women, survival show winners, top idols, top dancers, rappers, singers, like these are people who will be able to give appropriate feedback. And then I saw the contestants' ages. I want to make it absolutely clear that any contestant 14 or younger will not be getting my seal of approval. They all show a lot of promise, but they should be auditioning for agencies or training, but most importantly, going to school, not a survival show. Seeing how Sane was treated on Girls Planet for actively going to school while participating in the show, not only by viewers, but by the other contestants, radicalized me. Survival shows should have a minimum age of 16. In a perfect world, it would be 18, but we need to take baby steps. So again, as talented as most of them are, I will only review their performances when notable, but with a disclaimer that I am not encouraging people to vote for them. There are 12-year-olds on the show. Not just one, multiple. We need to get Korea to pass some more laws to protect these children yesterday because there's clearly not enough. Okay, anyways, the show starts with a dramatic intro showing off how many different countries the contestants are from, which is honestly impressive. They have Korea, obviously, China, Japan, Vietnam, Myanmar, Malaysia, France, pretty sure I saw Australia, Canada, basically a very global show with girls from all over, except Africa and South America. Then they have a little introduction for the girls shown in the teaser, and guys, I do not have a great feeling about this because the first 4 girls they highlight are all under 16. The second girl was dancing to Kill This Love at 10. The song came out in 2019, guys. She's 14. Pretty sure she was also talking about how Canada only has soloists, not groups. Like, girl, you haven't even tried, you're 14! Okay, moving on. This first episode is an hour and a half, which feels very Mnet of them. There's a total of 82 contestants, guessing so they can match with Korea's international calling code, which they highlighted in the intro. The show will form an 8-member group. The first challenge is something they call Battle Week, which will have 2 parts. Part 1 is a one-on-one performance battle where they each have to prepare a solo. Based on a pre-show profile vote, the girls are split into the top and bottom half, so from rank 1 to rank 41 and rank 42 to 82. Contestants in the first half get to choose an opponent from the second half to compete against, and the winner of the one-on-one gets a benefit in the second half of Battle Week. Daya's Kwon Eun-chae, promoting on the show with her birth name Kwon Chae-won, kinda gets some Yujin treatment, hyping up her experience in the industry, and she talks about how she was in a team that revolved around one member, which it's true, but it's a really weird strategy to go with when one of the mentors is Sejeong, who had the same thing happen to her group for exactly the same reason. Like, she's literally the Chaeyeon of her group. This was the first sign to me that something was about to go very wrong here. They reveal the ranks one by having the girls go onto the stage and showing their rank on the huge screen behind them. The first girl to have her rank revealed is Im So-won. She is 12 years old. Yes, you heard that right. 12. She literally has 2 teeth that are actively growing. She's still losing baby teeth. What is she doing here? She should be in school. She's literally the second youngest contestant. There's still someone younger than her. She's a former Miss Trot 2 contestant and already debuted and was in musicals and stuff. Still doesn't make it okay, kinda makes it worse. The Burmese Riel is the first number 1 rank, and I can't be mad. I'm actually rooting for her. I enjoy her energy. She's also 23 years old, so let's keep that up, voters. Obviously, we haven't seen her performance yet since it should draw in viewers for episode 2, but I have high expectations. Also, Riel is such a collapse of a name. The first battle is between 14-year-old Hwang Shiin and 12-year-old Chae Yojin. You guys are not going to believe this, but Shiin actually said she thought she could beat Yojin because Yojin is so young. Either way, Shiin is clearly a better dancer than singer, but her stage presence and expressions are lacking, and it's honestly kind of offensive to me that she picked the youngest contestant because she knew her skills were not up to par. And she clearly doesn't have great judgment because she completely neglected the power of natural aegyo. Yojin chose Yena's Smiley, and it was such a smart choice. What she lacked in vocals or dance, she made up for with energy and charisma. She won the battle 4-1. The second battle is between Kotoko and Yu. Kotoko has very unique visuals. Reminds me of if like AOA Choa had more cat-like features. Kotoko was very cute and had great energy, but she still had a lot of room to improve. I don't remember what Hyoyeon said, but I agree with her assessment. Yu, on the other hand, chose Queen card, which made for a great showcase of her actual charm. The energy was there, and she still had many places she could improve, but she's a performer, and that shone through. She won the match 5-0. Match 3 sees Prikil's Nana face off against Alicia. Nana reminds me of Yurina. She's really pretty, and she definitely has a great foundation to build on in terms of skills. But they're setting up a rivalry between her and Yukino, who's her group member, because they competed on the survival show to become Prikil, hosted by FNC Japan. I don't actually know how to pronounce Prikil. Is anyone surprised to see FNC send group members on multiple survival shows? Be honest, cherry bullet tease. Alicia reminds me of SNSD Jessica visually, and if people catch on to that, it might be the most promo the show will get. However, she's Filipino, so as soon as I saw those pictures of her in a princess dress singing at a mall, I knew she was going to be a great singer. She chose to do Younha Selfish, and she's such a stable singer, she managed to sound like a recording while doing a main dancer level choreo. If she wasn't 14, I would be rooting for her. Apparently her cousin is under MLD and she's already been through 2 agencies. She needs to get back to those auditions because she should clearly debut, just not right now. Next up is Yukino. Yukino did pretty well, her dance and stage presence was good, but I think the song was just a bit out of range for her. The low notes, that is. Perhaps XOXO would have fit better. Then for Sujin versus Bae Haram. Sujin is a very strong vocalist and a good dancer, but it is disappointing that she couldn't combine the two. Haram was very charismatic and cool on stage, and her breath support is insane. Sujin won with a score of 3-2, and I can't be mad. This was definitely one of the strongest matchups, but I'm personally leaning more towards Haram. Now to the main draw of the episode, Daeyeon's Kwon Eunchae versus Buster's Jeon Jiyeon. I think most of us have seen the clip of Eunchae's performance by now, but Jiyeon's performance was objectively worse. It was her own song, but she stumbled, was off-key, didn't sell the song at all, and that is even more egregious when it's your own song. But then, Eunchae put down song picking as one of her skills because Jiyeon chose her own song and she bombed her choice anyways. From the first second, her posture was off, the song was out of her range, although she did sound better in the pre-chorus, but I have to agree with Sejeong. As debuted idols, they should not be washed by trainees. They should not have some kind of superiority complex because they already debuted and then present that. Especially after making such a big deal about being pushed to the back to favor another member and wanting to show your own charms and skill. It's been 3 years since she was last on stage, but that's not an excuse. Like Younha said, you need to keep up with the times if you want to keep being an idol as generations shift. Eunchae won 5-0, and I can't be mad about it, but I hope this was a wake-up call and we see some big improvements from both of them next time. Bang Younha faced off against Laura, but they didn't show Laura's performance. Still, Younha chose Itzy's sneakers, and to me, that shows she wants to leave an impression as a dancer more than a singer, but she was still incredibly stable while singing. Definitely deserved her 5-0 win based on that, but I wish we could have seen Laura's performance for comparison. The final performance of the episode was Sowon against Yuriko, and again, they only showed Sowon's performance. She's the 12-year-old with the teeth, by the way. She has very developed skills for her age, but she should so clearly be auditioning for a big agency. I can definitely see her debuting in JYP or SM, and I felt so validated when Hyoyeon said she wanted to scout her. I feel like that's the best summary. She shouldn't be on a survival show because she's clearly destined to debut if she joins a big company. And that was it. That was the first episode. We're off to a really rough start, but apparently the first elimination already happened. Like, they got all these girls to Korea, then eliminated half of them in the first week way back in August. And the actual competition is starting with episode 3. It's a really weird structure if true. It might explain why they're not bothering to show or upload so many of the first performances. But then why is voting open? So many questions. It's going to be interesting to see how this develops, and episode 2 is already up with subtitles, so I'll see you guys soon.